Chapter 2, Prehistoric Afghanistan Opening Scene. The first footprints. If you were to stand in the high valleys of modern-day Afghanistan 50,000 years ago, you would see a land both familiar and alien. The mountains were the same, jagged walls of stone and snow, but the air carried the chill of an ice age. Herds of wild sheep and gazelle moved across the steppe. Wolves prowled the edges of the plains, and in caves tucked away in limestone cliffs, the first humans left their quiet mark on history. Archaeologists, scraping through layers of dust and sediment, have found those marks: crude hand axes chipped from flint, blades sharpened for cutting meat, scrapers for cleaning hides. These were the tools of survival, functional, simple, and carried from place to place by small bands of nomadic hunter-gatherers, the Paleolithic era. Life on the move. These early Afghans were not city builders. They lived in groups of 20 or 30, constantly moving in search of game. The land provided what they needed: rivers for water, plains for hunting, and caves for shelter. Stone tools from this period, discovered in caves like Darasur in Badakhshan and Aq Kupruk in northern Afghanistan, tell a story of persistence. The shapes and edges reveal how people adapted to the stone available in each region, showing a deep familiarity with their Fire, too, was part of their world. Charcoal deposits in cave hearths hint at nights spent around flickering flames, stories shared, and perhaps the beginnings of culture, songs, beliefs, and shared knowledge passed from one generation to the next. 9000 BCE, the Great Transition. Around 9000 BCE, the Ice Age drew to a close. Glaciers retreated, global temperatures warmed. This was more than just a change in climate, it was the dawn of an entirely new way of life. Across the world, humans began to experiment with farming, domesticating animals, and staying in one place for longer periods. In Afghanistan, this transformation was especially powerful. The region's geography, valleys between mountains, fertile river plains, and a variety of wild grains, made it a natural cradle for early agriculture. Wild barley and wheat already grew in abundance here. Goats and sheep roamed the hillsides, animals well suited to domestication. Communities began to plant seeds deliberately. They learned which soils retained moisture best, which fields caught the morning sun, and how to save part of the harvest for the next planting season. Goats and sheep were corralled not just for meat, but for milk, wool, and hides. Neolithic villages, the first homes with farming came permanence. Instead of temporary shelters, people built sturdy homes from mud, brick, and stone. Villages began to form small clusters of houses near rivers or springs. Archaeologists have found grinding stones, sickles with flint blades set into wooden handles, and storage pits for grain. These are the fingerprints of the Neolithic Revolution in Afghanistan. One of the most important early sites is Mundigak, near modern-day Kandahar. By around 3000 BCE, Mundigak had grown into a significant settlement, with multiple neighborhoods, each with houses arranged in neat rows. Streets followed a rough grid pattern. There were central storage facilities, possibly and a large public building that may have been a temple or palace. This kind of organization required leadership, planning, and cooperation. Mundigak's pottery, red or buff-colored, painted with black geometric designs, suggests both artistic expression and trade, as some styles are similar to those found far beyond Afghanistan. The Bronze Age, a connected world as centuries passed. Metallurgy arrived. Bronze, an alloy of copper and tin, allowed the making of stronger tools, weapons, and ornaments. Afghanistan's location made it a crossroads for ancient trade. To the east lay the powerful Indus Valley Civilization, with its great cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. To the west were the cultures of ancient Iran. To the north, the steppes led to Central Asia and the mysterious Bactria Margiana archaeological complex BMAC. Perhaps the most remarkable example of Afghanistan's role in this early global network is Shortagai, a settlement on the banks of the Darya-Oxus River. Excavations have shown that Shortagai was not just any settlement, it was a trading outpost of the Indus Valley Civilization, hundreds of kilometers from the civilization's core. Indo-style weights, seals, and pottery have been found here, alongside local artifacts. This means that as early as 2000 BCE, goods, ideas, and people were moving across vast distances, linking Afghanistan to one of the most advanced cultures of the Bronze Age. From Shortagai, traders could access lapis lazuli mines in Badakhshan, the source of the deep blue stone prized in Mesopotamia and Egypt. This gemstone would travel thousands of kilometers, adorning the tombs of pharaohs and the temples of Sumerian kings. Life in prehistoric Afghanistan. We can imagine what daily life might have been like in these communities. In the mornings, farmers tended barley fields or herded goats up into mountain pastures. Women ground grain into flour on stone querns, while potters shaped clay vessels on slow wheels. Children might help gather firewood or learn to weave baskets from reeds. Religious life is harder to reconstruct, but certain clues suggest early spiritual practices. The large central building at Mundagak, for instance, may have been used for ritual gatherings. Clay figurines, some representing animals, others, possibly goddesses, hint at a symbolic or religious dimension to life. Archaeology piecing together the story. Everything we know about prehistoric Afghanistan comes from painstaking excavation. Sites like Mundagak and Shortagai have been studied by teams of archaeologists from France, Italy, and Afghanistan itself. Layers of soil are peeled back slowly, each artifact catalogued and analyzed. Radiocarbon dating tells us when organic material last lived. Pottery styles are compared to those from other regions to trace trade and cultural exchange. The story is incomplete. Many sites remain unexcavated, and modern conflict has made some areas inaccessible. Yet even from the fragments we have, a clear picture emerges. Afghanistan was not a forgotten corner of the ancient world, but an active participant in its earliest chapters. Closing reflection, the deep roots of a nation long before there were borders, kingdoms, or written history. People in the land we now call Afghanistan were shaping a way of life that would echo through the ages. They learned to read the seasons, to coax food from the soil, to craft homes and communities, and to trade with distant peoples. The valleys and mountains that shaped their lives would continue to shape the destiny of Afghanistan for millennia to come, and in the silent stones of Mundagak and Shortagai, we can still hear the faint voices of those first farmers, builders, and traders, the founders of a story that was only just beginning. Chapter 3. The Indus Connection. Deep breakdown. Before writing 1. Indus Valley Civilization, in context. Time frame, roughly 3300 BCE to 1300 BCE. Mature phase approximately 2600–1900 BCE. Location, present-day Pakistan, northwest India, and parts of eastern Afghanistan known for urban planning, grid-like streets, brick houses, drainage systems, standardized weights and measures. Trade links reaching Mesopotamia. Why this matters? They weren't isolated, they were part of an interconnected ancient economy. 2. Why Afghanistan was important. Afghanistan wasn't just nearby, it was a bridge between South Asia, Central Asia, the Middle East, the Hindu Kush. Mountains acted both as a barrier and a passageway, via valleys, like the Kabul River, and Oxus Amu, Darya. Afghanistan had rare and valuable minerals that other civilizations wanted but couldn't easily get. 3. Shortagai, the Indus outpost in Afghanistan, located in northern Afghanistan near the Amu Darya River, discovered by French archaeologists in the 1970s. Findings: Indus-style seals used for trademarking, pottery identical to Harappa weights made with the same standard as in Mohenjo-Daro. This wasn't a random settlement, it was purpose-built for trade. 4. The lapis lazuli. Trade source: mountains of Badakhshan, northeast Afghanistan. Mining. Lapis was mined from narrow rock veins and high-altitude areas, still mined there today. Value. In Mesopotamia, it decorated royal tombs, like those of your approximately 2600 BCE. In Egypt, it was inlaid into pharaohs' masks and jewelry, including Tutankhamun's burial mask. Powdered lapis was used for cosmetics and paint. Indus traders likely controlled or taxed this trade route, making it a major source of wealth. 5. What the Indus brought to Afghanistan: goods, cotton, textiles, beads, ceramics, foodstuffs, technology, standardized weights, city planning concepts, possibly ideas, agricultural techniques, irrigation know-how. 6. The global web. Afghanistan wasn't just a stop. It was part of an international trade network connecting. Indus Valley gives lapis source, Mesopotamia gives goods exchange. Wool silver. Egypt gives lapis for tombs, and temple Shortagai was like an ancient customs post and warehouse. 7. End of the connection. Around 1900 BC, the Indus civilization began to decline. Climate change, river shifts, trade collapse. Without the Indus traders, Shortagai was abandoned or taken over by local groups. But Afghanistan remained a mineral and trade hub for later empires: Achaemenids, Greeks, Kushans,